I think Islam Makhachev is an underrated fighter, or at least he has been up until this last weekend where he finished Alexander Volkanovski in the first round. Something I've noticed watching the sport for the last couple of years is Islam Makhachev. He's been on the come up and now he's the champion. And unlike Khabib, I feel like Khabib had a giant wave of fans that thought he was the greatest thing in the world. And Islam, you'd expect to have the same fan base, but I feel like he's getting less respect than Khabib did. But I think he might be better than Khabib. He's at the very least, no one can deny he's a more well-rounded fighter than Khabib. And if him and Khabib were to fight each other in a title fight, I'd probably pick Islam to win at this point. Islam Makhachev is the best grappler in the UFC right now, or at least he's top 3. It's like him, Hamzat, and maybe Bo Nickel or something like that, or him, Hamzat, and Charles Oliveira. He's top 3. He's probably the best grappler in the UFC, just like Khabib was. But unlike Khabib, he's an incredible striker. Probably top 10 best strikers in the UFC, considering he just outstruck Volkanovski. That's crazy to think about. He is easily one of the best fighters in the world. He probably is. He probably deserves to be pound for pound number 1 after beating Volk. I know there's going to be people that say John Jones, he's number 1. John Jones is a steroid cheat, and he fights in a couple of the weakest divisions in the UFC, so I don't care. I care about who is the best skill-wise, and I don't think John Jones is the most skilled man in the UFC. He's not the most skilled fighter. He's had the most dominant reign over some of the least skilled contenders. You beat Anthony Smith, and you didn't even make it look good. You beat Thiago Santos on one leg, and you didn't make that look good. You lost to Dominic Reyes. Yeah, I don't care. He beat DC, and he got an impressive win there, but he was on steroids. And then he took down Cyril Gahn, who has 0 wrestling. So he might be the GOAT if you count steroid cheats, but I don't. And I don't think he's the best in the world right now. I think Volk and Islam are the best in the world, and Islam just proved to be better. He already won the first fight, and he finishes Volk in the second fight, regardless of whether or not it was short notice. That's very impressive. And I think he needs to get a lot more respect, because I see a lot of Islam Makhachev hate on the internet, and I don't get it. He's not even annoying. He's not incredibly cocky. He's a little cocky, but so is Volk. He's not that annoying. He doesn't go around claiming to be the best thing ever. He says that he thinks he's the best fighter in the world. Everybody says that, and people get annoyed when Islam says it. Nobody gets annoyed when Volk says he thinks he's the best. No one gets annoyed when John says he thinks that he's the best. No one cared when Amanda Nunes was saying she's the best. But for some reason, Islam Makhachev saying he's the best in the world really rubs everybody the wrong way. And they always just say that, well, you robbed Volk. He just knocked out Volk, okay? He is the best in the world, and he's such a good striker. I don't understand how people underestimate his striking still. He has some of the nastiest counter-striking in the sport right now. And he has the highest striking defense rate of any fighter active in the UFC right now, and possibly in history. His striking defense is ridiculous, and we're starting to learn in the UFC that striking defense is kind of overpowered. Look at Sean Strickland versus Israel Adesanya. Strickland is known for his striking defense. Adesanya couldn't even land clean on him. I don't think Adesanya landed a single clean shot to the face of Strickland. Strickland was landing his shots all night. The ability to make your opponent miss a shot is so overpowered in the UFC right now. And Islam is one of the best, or technically the best in the world to do that. And he's got great counter-striking. He has great timing on his shots. He has really good technique. Khabib didn't. Khabib was just a powerhouse who had the threat of the takedown. Islam genuinely, if you took away his grappling, he's still a very dangerous striker. He can strike with the best of them, as we're learning, because Volk, I think, was considered by many people to be one of, if not the best striker in the UFC, at least in the lower weight divisions. Dude outstruck Max Holloway for 5 straight rounds. Okay, he outstruck Yair Rodriguez. He's really good, and he just got head kick KO'd by Islam Makhachev, and he didn't land. I think he landed like 3 shots on Islam that whole fight. He landed almost nothing. I mean, it was a short fight, sure, but he barely landed anything. Islam landed almost everything he threw, and then he finished him. So yeah, that's really all I've got to say. Islam is very good, and he's very underrated. His striking is very underrated. He's got power. I think he beats everybody at lightweight. I honestly am really interested in seeing him move up to welterweight. A lot of people say he needs to defend his belt more at lightweight. I think if he defends it one more time, then he deserves to try to fight for the welterweight belt. A lot of people say that like defending against Volk doesn't count because he's not a real lightweight. He needs to defend against more lightweights. I think we can all agree that Volk is better than all the other lightweights. So I don't know why defending against him doesn't count. If anything, winning against Volk, in my opinion, means more for his legacy than any of the lightweights he could beat right now. It means more than beating Oliveira. It means more than beating Gaethje, more than beating Poirier. As much as I'd like to see those fights, I'd like to see him fight Gaethje next and have Oliveira fight like a Gamrot or something, and the winner of that get another or get a shot at the title. Mostly because I don't really want to see the Oliveira rematch yet. I would like to see a fresh matchup, but I think he steamrolls Gaethje. I don't think Gaethje has the grappling to keep up with him. And then, like, if he fights a Gamrot, I don't think Gamrot has the striking to keep up with him. That's what makes him so good, is he can beat you anywhere. Something we've learned in this sport is the fighters with the most options tend to win. One-dimensional fighters don't get very far anymore. You need to be good everywhere, and if you can beat someone in multiple areas, then you can beat pretty much anybody, because you can beat the guys that are better than you at grappling by striking, and the guys that are better than you at striking, you beat them with grappling. And he can do that, and it makes him a very, very scary man in the lightweight division, and I think that makes him a huge threat for the welterweight belt as well. I don't know if he would beat Leon Edwards or Colby Covington, but I think he has a very good chance, and I'd love to see it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you liked the video, hit the like button. If you didn't, hit the dislike button. If you could subscribe, that would be cool, and I will talk to you later. Goodbye.